Hi Stampers, happy Friday. Let me get the volume turned up here so it doesn't sound like a whisper. How are you doing? It is the weekend eve, so I hope you are going to have something fun planned for this weekend and that you're not snowed in somewhere. So I have just a few new things to tell you about Stampin' Up! Wise, and then I have a pretty card to make for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get my phone mounted and get started. So let me just switch this around. There we go. Hopefully that is okay, and I'll bring it up on my iPad here just to make sure. The sun's actually shining here, which is awesome. Okay. There I can see. All right. Okay, so beginning today, they have added a new selection to our celebration event called Celebration Coordination. And this is dies and other stamps and a punch to go with things that were already in our celebration offerings. And these things you can purchase. So if you have received or chose the cupcake set out of the celebration, here's matching framelits to go with that, and same with the Four Seasons set, the stamps and the paper, and then the frogs and the pretty gorgeous lily that's clear in the back of the catalog. And then there, well, that one's in French, but there's a nice set called More Than Words that you can put with your cards and things, and then a nice label punch, the story label punch there. So those are things you can get. I love that there's the dies to cut out some of these things, right? So that's pretty cool, and you'll find all of that on my store page. And here is the address to get to that. Oh, and if you order from me during the month of March, be sure you put in this hostess code for a chance to win something. And there's a spot to put that in at the end when you check out. And also, these are the additional things that have been added. Some more fun things to celebrations. So now with a $50 order, these are all with, if you spend $50. You can now choose the Painted Seasons designer paper. There's this cute little kit here that is Share What You Love embellishment kit. There is a really nice embossing folder, scattered sequins. These adorable little mini pizza boxes. Some really pretty pearlized doilies. Rich razzleberry velvet ribbon. I have this, it's so pretty. The Petal Promenade Designer Series paper, and you can see this in our regular catalog. And then the delightfully detailed laser cut specialty paper. So a lot of these things are in our regular catalog. This came out in the second release for celebrations, but with a stamp set. So now you can just get the paper. So maybe you want some extra paper, and you can just get the paper if you like. So that is that. And now we can get started. So for this card, I'm going to be using the Country Floral embossing folder. It is so, so gorgeous. And this is what it looks like. If you can see, it's one of those thicker embossing folders, and it just, oh, it's so gorgeous. And I have a card that I made. Is it right here where I can grab it quick? Well, I should have pulled that so you could see it, but it turned out so pretty. And yeah, I'm not seeing it right here where I can show it to you. Rats. It's on my, oh, here it is. So there it is. Isn't that gorgeous? So I ran it through the embossing folder, and then I colored it with the Stampin' Blends. And you want to kind of be careful when you do that, because you know alcohol markers will bleed out a little bit. So, you know, you'll know as you're coloring, if you use alcohol markers, where to kind of get up to the lines too. Anyway, then afterwards I went back over it with Wink of Stella on all of the flowers, and then the pretty glitter on all of the little dots. So I'm not sure if you can see the shimmer on the flowers as much, but yeah, it turned out really pretty. I was happy with that. Okay, so we're going to be using that, and then also this had been on back order, and this is out of the Occasions catalog, and it's the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper, and this is how it comes in a package of 6x6 sheets. You get in here Balmy Blue, Daffodil Delight, Grapefruit Grove, Highland Heather, Lemon Lime Twist, and Whisper White. And so the one that I'm using today is the Grapefruit Grove. So we're going to be using that. We are using the Butterfly Gala stamp set, and this is a photopolymer stamp set, and it coordinates with the punch, which the punch is on back order. It won't, it's, so hang tight if you want that, but yeah, it coordinates with that. And then also the Stitched Shapes framelets, and this is what you get: circles, ovals, and we're using that size today, and the squares. So you get a lot of dies in there, and I love the stitching on those. So those are the things we're using, along with some Whisper White cardstock. And I have used, or I have went ahead and cut out the card base out of the Grapefruit Grove, and it's just a standard card size 8.5 by 11, scored at 4 1/4, and then I've got a piece of white in there to put on the inside. So we have that, and then I've got a piece of Whisper White that I'm going to run in that embossing folder, and then the Grapefruit Grove gingham paper. And with this you get the small gingham on one side and the bigger check on the other. So I love that option. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put in the embossing folder and run it through my machine real quick. So let me just get that done. Okay, so look at how detailed that embossing is. I love this. This is like one of the prettiest embossing folders I think I have ever seen. Okay, so we have that, and then I'm going to cut this into some sections. So I need a 3x4 piece. a 2¼ by 2½, and another 2¼ by 1½. So if I cut this right, fingers crossed, I can get it all out of the one chunk. So let me do that real quick here. And I don't think I cut it right. In fact, I know I didn't, so I'm going to have to run another little piece through. The first time I did it, I managed to get it all cut out of that one piece. But that's okay, because I've got more. Everything will be fine. And let me get this done here. Okay, so now I still need 2¼ by 2½ and 2¼ by 1½. There's one of them. Okay, there we go. There are all the pieces. I think I must have caught everybody at dinner time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick down this gingham piece. And I have just cut it slightly smaller, so it is 5¼ by 4. So there is that. And then for the pieces that we did in the embossing folder, I have cut mats for all of those. So these are all just 1/4 inch bigger than the white piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get those put on the mats. And when you're adding this sort of an adhesive, like a glue runner or tape runner, whatever you might use, you just need to be really careful when you're adding it on the back of pieces that you have ran through an embossing folder, because sometimes the paper wants to tear a bit, just like that started to. Okay. So there's that one. There's so many things you can do with this embossing folder. You could color it like I did on that card. You could use chalks or pastels. You can use it plain white like this. Do it on colored paper. It's gorgeous. There's just a lot of things. I'm just going to, I see my trimmer feathered that just a bit, so I want to trim that. Hubby's taking me out for Mexican food tonight. What are you all doing? Okay, there we go for that piece. Now I think I'll just set those aside, and here is a chunk that I had left over from this piece that I cut out, and this is what I'm going to stamp the butterflies on. And I decided to go with these butterflies here, and these butterflies, the stamp is connected, so you get the small and the large because the punch cuts them both out at the same time. I love that. So you can use just the line images, or you can color them in with the solid with like a two-step stamping. So I'm going to stamp those with black memento onto the small checks. Just like that. And now we'll punch these out. Get it in there just where I want it. Okay, there they are. So there is that, and let me see, I need to put the little, I should have done that before I punched them, but that's okay. I've got their little bodies here. Okay, there's that one. And there's that one. And then I have a greeting from this set. I'm going to use the Hello Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that also with the Memento Black. So pretty. And then I'm going to cut that out using that oval stitched die. And I've got magnets on my machine over here, but I always still just like to hold it in place with a bit of, I use the sticky note tape. What is that called? Post-it tape. And that's how it comes in a roll. And one roll lasts a long time. Okay. Okay, I think now that all the parts and pieces are here that we need. There's that. Put this back in place so I don't lose it. And I reuse these over and over until they're just not worth reusing anymore. Okay, bring the card back in. So we've got the gingham down, and we've got all these pieces matted. I just need to decide how I want to position this. I don't think it matters a whole lot, but I'm going to put it like that. I'm not seeing anybody on here, so I hope I'm not missing anything, and I hope this is actually live. It says it is, so okay. So now, just going to put this up right about there. And then we're going to layer this piece. For those of you who might be catching this live or on the replay, I would love it if you would share the video with your friends that might be interested in stamping. That would just help me out greatly. Okay, so I've got that piece there. I typically am on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but today we had to do statements for our store, so I am a little bit late. Alright, so that piece is going to go there. And now for the butterflies, I'm going to put them on with a bit of glue. There's that little guy. I'm going to put this one up here. So there's that, and then we've got our Hello Beautiful greeting, and I'm going to put that on with dimensionals. Oops, I didn't mean to pull a whole strip of them off. Let's see if I can get that back down there. Really just want 2. Okay. So there are those. And this is going to go right onto here. And then of course we still need to jazz this up. So I've got pearls and bling. So I'm going to put a little bling right here by Hello Beautiful. And we still have pearls in the catalog. We don't have this selection of pearls, unfortunately, but I have them in my stash, and you might just have them in your stash also. I'm going to cut little pearls off to go on the butterfly's body. So I'm cutting 3 off the strip for the small, and I'm cutting 1, 2, 3, 4 off the strip for the large butterfly. Just get those stuck on there. Okay. There we go. And they need to be shimmery, so I am just going to do some Wink of Stella here on the butterfly. I like extra shimmer. So there we go. That is the finished card. And hopefully you can see the shimmer there on the butterflies. Not sure. So that is the card in Grapefruit Grove, and my sample that I made ahead of time is in Highland Heather. I just think they are so pretty. So pretty. You could use these for a birthday card, or just because, thinking of you, maybe you want to give it, maybe a husband would like to give it to his wife, and just how nice. Who wouldn't of you would love to have a card from your hubby that says hello beautiful? I would. I'm just gonna put this in the inside here. There we go. So pretty. All right. Thanks for joining me. If you arrived late, I will post this to my page so you can go back and watch the replay. I talked about what is new as far as our celebration specials that started today. And have a great weekend. Happy stamping. See you next time. Bye-bye.